Blue Mountain, Alabama, a place where lush greenery meets the quiet hum of small-town life. It was here, in this unassuming haven, that Nanny Doss, a woman who personified Southern charm, also harbored a dark secret. Known for her infectious giggle and penchant for romance novels, Nanny's outward cheer masked a sinister reality. She was a serial killer. Her weapon of choice, poison, was as silent and deadly as her hidden rage. Neighbors, blinded by her grandmotherly demeanor, could scarcely believe the accusations when they surfaced. Nanny Doss, born Nanny Hazel Doss in 1905, was a woman seemingly defined by contradictions. Her round face and twinkling eyes radiated warmth, making her the quintessential Southern grandmother everyone adored. Yet, beneath this veneer of normalcy lurked a darkness that would leave an unforgettable stain on Blue Mountain's history. Over several decades, Nanny used her unassuming charm to disarm her victims, most of whom were husbands and family members. To understand Nanny Doss's descent into darkness, one must delve into the complexities of her formative years. Born in a time of societal change and personal upheaval, Nanny's early life was marked by both love and loss, shaping the woman she would become. Her childhood, spent in the rural South, was a tapestry woven with threads of both warmth and hardship. Nanny's relationship with her father, strict and emotionally distant, cast a long shadow over her life. His controlling nature fostered a deep-seated resentment in young Nanny, a feeling that would fester and grow over time. Romance novels, with their tales of love and happy endings, became Nanny's escape from the harsh realities of her life. She devoured these stories, immersing herself in worlds where love conquered all, and finding solace in their predictable narratives. Her early marriages, often tumultuous and short-lived, left her feeling betrayed and abandoned, further fueling the rage that simmered beneath the surface. The seeds of Nanny's dark desires were perhaps sown in the fertile ground of her first love. Charlie Braggs, her first husband, was the object of her youthful affections, a man who promised her escape from her stifling upbringing. Their courtship, a whirlwind of stolen glances and secret rendezvous, fueled Nanny's romantic fantasies. She saw in Charlie a chance for a different life, one filled with love and happiness. However, this dream, like many others in Nanny's life, would soon turn to ashes. Their marriage, initially a source of joy for Nanny, quickly descended into a nightmare. Charlie's true nature, hidden beneath a charming facade, emerged with a vengeance. He proved to be an unreliable and often abusive husband, shattering Nanny's illusions of a blissful union. As Nanny navigated the treacherous waters of love and loss, a sinister pattern began to emerge. Her husbands, one after another, met untimely ends, each death cloaked in a shroud of mystery. At first glance, these tragedies seemed like a string of unfortunate coincidences, a cruel twist of fate that followed Nanny throughout her life. However, a closer look revealed a more sinister truth. Nanny had developed a taste for poison, and she used it with chilling precision. Arsenic, with its subtle potency and ability to mimic natural illness, became Nanny's weapon of choice. Her victims, often unsuspecting and trusting, consumed the poison unknowingly, succumbing to its effects under the guise of various ailments. Nanny, a master manipulator, played the role of the grieving widow to perfection, deflecting suspicion and maintaining her facade of innocence. The poisonings, spread out over several years and multiple marriages, showcased Nanny's chilling methodology. The body count attributed to Nanny Doss's poisonous hand remains a subject of debate to this day. While she confessed to 5 murders, speculation persists that the true number of her victims may be far higher. The passage of time, coupled with the limitations of forensic science in the era of her crimes, makes it difficult to determine with absolute certainty the extent of her killing spree. However, the confirmed victims paint a chilling portrait of a woman who preyed on those closest to her, leaving a trail of devastation in her wake. Among her victims were 4 husbands, each succumbing to mysterious illnesses after sharing Nanny's life and, more often than not, her finances. Their deaths, often attributed to heart conditions or digestive ailments, raised few eyebrows at the time. Nanny, with her convincing displays of grief and her ability to blend seamlessly into the background, successfully deflected suspicion, allowing her to continue her murderous spree unchecked. But Nanny's reign of terror extended beyond her spouses. What drove Nanny Doss to commit such unspeakable acts? The answer, like the woman herself, is complex and multifaceted. Experts who studied her case point to a perfect storm of psychological factors that, combined with her traumatic upbringing and failed relationships, created a breeding ground for her murderous impulses. Some psychologists speculate that Nanny suffered from a form of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, a mental health condition in which individuals fabricate or exaggerate the illness of someone in their care, often for attention or sympathy. This theory gains traction when considering the deaths of her children and her mother, individuals whose vulnerability placed them directly under her control. Others argue that Nanny's actions were driven by a combination of greed and a profound need for control. Many of her victims held life insurance policies, providing her with a financial motive for their demise. Delving deeper into Nanny's psyche, one encounters a landscape scarred by trauma and fueled by a warped sense of reality. Her childhood experiences, particularly her strained relationship with her father, likely instilled in her a deep-seated fear of abandonment and a desperate need for control. These early wounds, left unaddressed and festering beneath the surface, may have manifested in her later life as a deadly need to dominate and possess those around her. Her fascination with romance novels, often cited as a peculiar detail in her case, offers further insight into her psyche. These stories, with their idealized depictions of love and happily ever afters, provided Nanny with an escape from the harsh realities of her own life. However, they also fueled unrealistic expectations and a distorted view of romantic relationships, setting her up for disappointment and rage when her marriages inevitably failed to live up to these fictional ideals. Nanny Doss's reign of terror finally came to an end in 1955, when suspicions arose surrounding the death of her fifth husband, Samuel Doss. His sudden and agonizing demise, coupled with whispers of similar tragedies in Nanny's past, prompted authorities to investigate further. The subsequent exhumation of Samuel's body, along with those of other suspected victims, revealed shocking levels of arsenic, confirming the darkest suspicions. Faced with overwhelming evidence, Nanny Doss confessed to her crimes, sending shockwaves through the nation. Her trial, a media sensation, captivated the public's imagination. The image of a seemingly harmless grandmother, dubbed the Giggling Granny by the press, admitting to such heinous acts, was both chilling and perplexing. Despite her confession, Nanny Doss never expressed remorse for her actions. Nanny Doss's case sent ripples of shock and morbid fascination throughout the United States. The idea that a seemingly ordinary woman, a grandmother no less, could be capable of such calculated cruelty was both terrifying and intriguing. The media, capitalizing on the sensational nature of her crimes, dubbed her the Black Widow of Alabama, a moniker that stuck and further cemented her place in the annals of American crime. Her story tapped into a deep-seated societal fear, the idea that evil can lurk beneath the most unassuming facades. Nanny's case challenged the perception of who a killer could be, shattering the stereotype of the monstrous and outwardly menacing figure. Her crimes forced people to confront the uncomfortable reality that darkness can reside in anyone, even those closest to us. The legacy of Nanny Doss, the Giggling Granny, extends far beyond the confines of Blue Mountain, Alabama. Her case, though decades old, continues to fascinate and horrify, serving as a stark reminder that evil can wear many faces and that appearances can be dangerously deceiving. Her story offers valuable lessons, not only about the psychology of serial killers, but also about the importance of vigilance and the need to look beyond superficial charm. Nanny's case highlighted the limitations of profiling, demonstrating that killers do not always fit neatly into preconceived categories. Her unassuming demeanor and ability to blend seamlessly into everyday life allowed her to operate undetected for years, highlighting the need for investigators to remain open to all possibilities and to avoid making assumptions based solely on outward appearances. Moreover, Nanny's story underscores the importance of mental health awareness and the need to address trauma and abuse.